Namaste. Welcome, week 6 of our beginner 6-week series. For today's class, we're going to end the class with some legs up the wall, like a few different movements with the legs up the wall. So you'll need some wall space around you where there isn't furniture or decorations or pictures or anything there. And you can come up to the wall, bring your hips there, and swing the legs up. So thinking about that, if you don't already have that in your space, you need to move or move some things out of your way, hit pause. Do what you need to do and then come back. We are going to come onto the backs. I'm going to invite you to come on down to your backs. I'm going to stay on my seat, okay, so you can hear me well. Laying on your back in a comfortable way. That can be legs extended down the mat, feet to the far corner edges. If you need to bend up your knees and place your foot soles on the mat at any time, of course you can do that. Arms can open up away from the body in that A-frame position where the palms are facing the ceiling. If a different shape works for your arms though, maybe the palms down towards your mat or the palms facing your thighs, if that's more comfortable in your body, feel free to take that position. Create some length in the back of the neck. So start to draw the chin down towards your heart center. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. I'm going to invite you to gently flutter your eyes closed at this time. Good. And then find your breath. That means two things, the sensation of the breath and the quality of the breath. So where are you feeling your breathing right now? Is it those big, beautiful belly breaths? Or do you feel it more up in the chest, even the collarbone area? These are suggestions. Maybe you feel it as the side ribs, maybe you're feeling your breath in the back. Where do you connect with the feeling of your breathing? Expansion or lifting with inhales, that contraction or falling away feeling with the exhales. And then next, notice the quality of your breathing. Are they those long, gentle inhales and exhales, slow, or are they a more shallow, anxious feeling? If you are breathing more shallow, see if you can extend your inhales and exhales. Again, but without creating any stress, not forcibly, okay? Gentle lengthening. If this is feeling like a good position for you to be in, any time during the practice, if you're feeling like it's becoming a bit too much or your breathing is going back to that shallow, anxious feeling, come back to this. We'll call this the green zone, okay? You can come back to this anytime you need to. If you want to hit pause and then come back to the practice, or simply take a break and then join back into the practice when you're ready. We invite some movement back into the body, starting by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Starting with the smaller movements first. Circling through the wrists and the ankles. Circling in one way and changing the direction, circling the other way. And if it's reasonable in your neck, you can gently rock your head left and right. Bringing those joints back into stillness. We're going to move into our first shape, a side bend on your back. So laying on your back still. You can extend your legs down the mat if you have bent them up and zip those legs together. We're going to work into Banana Asana. If it works for you, you can take your arms straight overhead. Not everybody will feel comfortable like that, so you can bend your elbows. I'm going to give you an option for one of your arms once we get into the shape. Then you can scooch your feet over to the right side of your mat, keeping your seat where it is. And then take your arms over to the right side as well. So we're coming, it gets this name because we're coming to like a banana shape or a big open C shape. If you want, you can cross your left ankle on top of the right ankle, and you may like to lay that left arm, if it's like up in space, it's struggling, lay it across your chest, your torso, belly area. Good. Send your breath to your left rib cage here. Good, last breath here. If you have your ankles crossed, we'll bring that back off. Scooch everything back to center, reset. Okay, the legs are down the center of the mat, they're zipped together. If you're taking that position, the arms directly overhead, you're adjusting that, bending the elbows. When you're ready, scooching the feet over the left side of your mat. And take the arms over the left side as well. If that right arm needs somewhere to hang out, lay it across the upper body somewhere. Maybe you like to cross your right ankle on top of the left. Breathe into your right side now. So pushing out those intercostal muscles between the ribs, stretch it out. The diaphragm is a big, powerful muscle inside. We can stretch from the inside out. Another breath or two here. Perfect. If the ankles are crossed, we'll bring that off first. Bring everything back to center. Return your arms alongside the body. We'll pause for a couple breaths here. Enjoying that nice lengthening of the side body. Then I will join you on the back for our bridge sequence. We'll maybe do a couple variations here. Keep your knees bent, or bend up your knees. Get your foot soles on the mat and legs are about hip width distance apart. Have a peek, that's actually what's happening. Knees are stacked over the ankles, arms alongside the body. First variation, we're going to lift and lower the hips. Keep your arms where they are. Inhale, lift your seat and spine up off the mat. Think about pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, spine starts to roll back down. Last thing to touch down is your seat. Good. A few more. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Make sure your knees stay stacked over your ankles when you come up to the top of that bridge shape. Good. Next time you come down, bring your knees to touch and flare your feet out to the sides of your mat for a sacrum release, constructive rest. Taking a moment's break. Good. And then back to that nice position where the knees are stacked over the ankles. We're going to lift and lower with the breath again, and this time even get the arms into it. So we're going to take our arms overhead, if that's okay for your shoulders. Okay, we're going to inhale, lift the seat and spine up off the mat, take your arms overhead. Exhale, begin to lay it all back down. That's the spine, then the seat, and the arms are coming along as well. Inhale to lift. And exhale to return back to start. Next time your seat touches down, come back to that constructive rest. So knees are touching, feet flare out to the sides. Our next variation of bridge, and we're going to hold that hip lift. Okay, bring your knees back over the ankles. Remember we did that one variation maybe where you're gripping the sides of your mat. If you want to hold on to that, that feels better for you. Otherwise your palms are going to be touching your mat next to your hips somewhere. Inhale, lift the seat and spine up. And hold here. Keep pushing your hips. Lift your hips up as much as you can. Keep your knees stacked over your ankles. And then Exhale slowly, lay that spine back down, vertebra by vertebra. This time when your seat touches down, go ahead, hug one knee in towards the chest and hug the other. Hands behind your thighs, the fronts of your knees, maybe wrapping around the tops of the knees. You can rock side to side or circle around. And if you're circling, you're going to go the other direction with those circles. Nice, release the foot soles and roll over to one side. Cradle your head in your arm for a couple of breaths. And we're going to come up to tabletop eventually. We're going to come up gradually though. Okay, I'm going to use that top hand, push into the floor, into your mat, sitting up, and then make your way onto your hands and your knees, any way that works for you. Okay? If your knees are sensitive, you can roll up the back of your mat, create some more padding underneath your knees. And those knees are directly underneath your hips. Shoulders are lined up over the wrists for some cat-cow breath. Okay, I'm going to inhale. Tailbone starts to tip up towards the ceiling. You get that curve in your low back. Okay, maybe even a little bit more exaggerated. That movement goes through the spine. Last, lift the back of your head to the ceiling. Lift your chin. Exhale, begin to tuck your tail between the legs, rounding up into that cat shape. Push your floor away. Tuck your chin towards the heart. Going with your breath, inhaling into your cow and exhaling up into your cat. One more round, finishing up your cat. The exhale that finishes the cycle. Inhale and exhale. Relax the back, neutral position. We're going to thread the needle for the shoulders. We're going to inhale, sweep the left arm up. Let's warm it up first. Exhale, little rotation, little threading that left arm under the right, but don't come all the way down just yet. And then inhale again to open the heart. Exhale, a little thread. Okay, permission, if you want to keep with this variation, if this works best for you, stay there. Or next time that arm is threading underneath, we're going to bring it all the way through. So left arm all the way through, palm faces up towards the ceiling. You can come down to the left side of your head on the mat. Right arm can reach towards the top of your mat. If that's too much of an intense stretch in your right arm, wrap that right arm around your back where the palm is facing up towards the ceiling. So we're going to externally rotate that shoulder. And breathe here. If the right arm is around your low back, bring it back to your mat to support yourself. Push your way up to tabletop position, setting up for the second side. So you can inhale, sweep the right one up. Exhale, little threading, little rotation. Remember we just warmed it up at first, so a smaller movement. A smaller threading, but a nice opening for the heart there. Now you like to keep doing this variation. This is great, stay with that. Or thread that right arm all the way through, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Right side of your head comes down to the mat. Left arm can reach the top of the mat. Left hand can reach around the low back where the palm faces up. We're going to bring that left palm back to the mat. If you take it to the low back, come up to tabletop position. We'll do some hip circles. All right, let's pick up one leg, whatever one you'd like to start with. Okay, pick up that leg, keep some bend in the knee, and then circle. Try to get as much range of motion, maybe a little more range of motion than what you would naturally do. You do this little circle. Try to get all the way up, take it back, down, and through. And change the direction of your circles. I'm going to give you a little wrist break in between sides. And take your knees as wide as your mat, release them down. Big toes touch, push your seat back towards your heels into child's pose. Okay, hands can reach forward. This is the our first child's pose. So we'll make it nice open and stretchy. Maybe you like to wriggle your hips in a little bit. If your wrists were bothering you while you're up in tabletop, make sure to take a little time to roll them out or finish with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Taking the pressure off. Good. And then some hip circles on the other side. When you're ready, come back up to tabletop, bring those knees back underneath you, pick up that other leg and circle around. Simple, right? Not complicated. Opening the hips. Good. Change the direction of your circles. Loosening up all the muscles around that hip joint. Beautiful. Let's put that knee down. Extend your left leg straight back behind you on the mat. Your toes are curled under, so your toe rounds are on the mat. Push your heel away and join us a calf stretch here. You can come down to your elbows at this time if you need to for the wrists. All right, lift that left leg up. Cross it over your right foot. And if it works for you, then look over your right shoulder, maybe as far as able to see your left toes back there. A side cat. Good, pick that left leg up, bring that knee back underneath you, child's pose again. If you enjoy another round with the wide knee child's pose, you can do that. Or keep your knees together, hands can still reach forward into a mecha. Maybe roll out the wrists if you need to. Good, second side, come back up to tabletop. First was our calf stretch. If you want to stay down on your elbows, you can. Extend your right leg back behind you, toes are curled under, they're on your mat. Push your heel away. Enjoy that nice calf stretch. Lengthening the calf muscle and the Achilles tendon. Keep your neck neutral. Good, pick that right leg up, cross it over your left foot. Take a check back there over the left shoulder, maybe see those right toes. Good, pick that right foot back up, bring that knee back underneath you. Push back child's pose, you know the wide kneed one, you know mecha with the hands forward. If you want to go to traditional balasana, knees are together, hands reach back towards your feet. And return back up to tabletop position. Okay, we're going to push our left cheek towards the left heel, over to that left side, circle around towards the right, and come back up to top. Good. So left cheek toward the left heel, circle around, come on up. Good job. You are going to change the direction of these circles right now. There it is. Circle the other way. Good. Last time. There it is. You're going to lean forward, walk your hands forward so your hips are ahead of your knees. Now we're in a modified plank. You can stay with modified, or if full plank is available to you, curl your toes under and lift those knees off the mat. Push your floor away with your hands, either way, okay? Be strong. Pull that belly button up towards the spine. This is a good core strengthener, but also for our shoulders. Job. If your knees are lifted, let's bring them down, and everyone's going to exhale, lower your thighs, belly, chest. Good. Take a rest, stack your hands, rest your forehead there. Big toes can come to touch and heels can roll out to the sides. Crocodile. Feel your breath in your upper back while you're resting here in crocodile. Good. Bring your legs back up, hip width distance apart. Reach those hands back towards your feet. Palms are touching your mat. Next inhale, lift everything off the mat as much as you can, right? Upper body, arms, legs for a locust pose. Great back strengthener. Keep your neck neutral. Exhale, lower everything down. Bring your right cheek to the mat. Rest. Good. Your next inhale, lift back up into your locust. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. Exhale, gently come back down. Lay your left cheek on the mat for that rest this time. So even out your neck stretch. And place your hands underneath your shoulders. Push up and come to your seat. And swing the legs around. Find a comfortable seat for you. Sukhasana or easy pose is that cross-legged position. If you want to put one leg slightly in front of the other, if you have to stretch out your leg, maybe your knees bothering you or what have you, please feel free to stretch out your leg, make yourself comfortable. Breathing practice today we're going to do is an alternate nostril breath. Okay, so right hand is used for this one. I'm going to be holding that right hand in front of our face. So the arm might get a little tired, so often we can use that left hand and hold that right arm in front of your face. And then curl the 3 middle fingers in together so you end up with that hang loose sign with your hands. And we take a few breaths in and out through the nose, natural, okay? Not pinching anything yet. And you can close your eyes here if you're comfortable with that. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling out through your nose. So establishing the nostril breathing, natural pattern. And we're going to pinch that left nostril with your pinky there. Inhale right. Block the right, open the left, exhale out the left. Inhale left. Close left, open right, exhale. Inhale right, close right, open left, exhale. Inhale left, close left, open right, exhale. So you get the idea, there's this horseshoe pattern. I'm going to let you keep going at your own pace, because we all breathe at our own rate. Keep going. So this balances the left and the right sides of the brain. And throughout the day, there's about 90-minute cycles. We're breathing out of one nostril more dominantly than the other. So this might help open things up. If anytime you start to feel anxious or breath hungry, let it go for a bit. Do a few rounds of your natural breathing and come back to the nostril, alternate nostril breathing. Finish the cycle exhaling out the right nostril. So when you get to that point, bring your hands back down to the lap. Good, and if you close your eyes, you can gently flutter those open. We're going to move into the shoulders. So let's do some shoulder shrugs to start. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, drop them heavy. Inhale to lift them. Exhale, dropping. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, drop. Good. Let's take the left arm overhead. Left fingers reaching down in the middle between your shoulder blades. And with the fingers in the right hand, a gentle push back with that left elbow for a tricep stretch. Keep both your sit bones rooted down here. We're going to go into a side bend if that's okay for you. Make sure those sit bones are going to stay down. When you're ready, exhale over towards your right. Gaze ahead or up towards your ceiling. Good, back up to center. Bring that left arm in front. I got a 90-degree bend still in that elbow. Draw that left arm across and introduce a little rotation to your right. Shoulder stretch, a little bit of a twist happening. Good, and then back to center, release that left arm. Take the right one overhead, maybe your fingers are going down the middle between your shoulder blades. Left fingers gently pushing back on that right elbow. Keeping both your sit bones rooted down, and if you like, and exhale, tip to your left. And then find your drishti, your gaze, right on the horizon or up towards the ceiling. Good. Back to center. Bring that bent right elbow in front of you. Draw that arm across and then introduce rotation to your left. Nice. And then release back to center. Stretch out those legs. Give them a little shake. We'll keep the right leg extended out in front and cross your left ankle onto that right thigh. We're going to do a little toe and ankle movement. So first we're going to manually pull your toes apart, create some space there. Good, and then if it works for you, interlace your fingers between your toes. So you're going to be holding hands with your foot. You may need a little encouragement there to get the fingers in. Maybe they don't go very far down on your toes, that's okay. And then from there, do some manual point flex of your toes, moving the toes around, move the ankle around, do some ankle rotations. So when we're born, our toes are meant to be just as lively as our fingers, but then we're encased in socks and shoes, and then we can't use those muscles and things in between the toes as well as we could. So imagine if you were born and you wore mittens your whole life, like how hard it would be to move your fingers apart. Same thing happening in our toes. Changing the direction of your movements if you haven't already. Good. Pause. See if you can spread your fingers out a little more. Create a little more space between your toes. And slowly start to slide those fingers all the way out. Good. And we'll switch to the other side. First, remember, we're going to pull the toes apart. Help get a little more space in there, making room for our fingers. And then interlace your fingers between those toes. Okay, is it different on this foot than the other one? Okay, point and flex the toes, move the ankle. What are you feeling when you're doing these things? Is it more challenging to get your fingers in there than you would have expected? Pause, you can spread your fingers out a little bit more. Excellent. And then slowly slide them back out. Stretch out that leg too, give them a shake. And we're going to get strong. Boat pose for our abs, core, and crab pose. Nice for the triceps, the back of the arm. Remember we stretched those just before? So let's bend up the knees, place the foot soles on the mat. Sit up nice and tall. Take your hands behind your thighs. Lift off one foot and lift the other. Now you can stay here with your hands behind your thighs. That's a good place to start. But if you're feeling like you can go a little further, you can extend the arms long, reaching forward with those arms. Good. Drishti is to the big toes here. Sometimes I prefer to take my gaze up to the ceiling. So I feel like I'm keeping that nice V shape and I don't get kind of sloppy and lazy in the belly and in the pelvis here. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Good. Now I said this was core, so yeah, I know your abs. But I can feel my quad muscles working, my hip flexors working. So good. Good. Exhale, release. Bottoms of your feet come to touch. Knees will fall out to the sides for a bound angle. Nice inner thigh growing stretch and release from that boat. Not a lot of things I do more than once. Boat pose I often do. So we're going to do that one again. Navasana. Knees together, hands behind your thighs. Lift. Maybe releasing the arms. Good. And it's okay. If you're shaking anywhere, that's okay. It tells us, oh, my muscles are working. They're turned on. You're woken up, engaged. Beautiful. Breathing. Good. Exhale. Again, that bound angle. Bring the bottoms of your feet to touch. You can stay up tall like we did the first time, or if you want to find a bit of a fold, grab for your toes, lean forward. Doesn't take much. You'll start to feel it maybe. Nice last breath here. All right, sitting back up, draw the knees together. Crab pose, hands are behind your seat. Fingers point towards your seat as best you can. Now, some people may have tight shoulders and they're not getting all the way there. Just do the best as you can. But we don't want the fingers pointing behind us. An externally rotated shoulder, then adding weight. So we're going to give it internally rotate as much as we can. All right, when you're ready, big inhale. Lift your seat up off the mat. We're in a reverse tabletop position. Be careful you don't collapse the seat and the neck into the shoulders. Keep pushing away through your hands and your feet. Gaze can be to the ceiling or to your navel. You decide what feels best in your neck. You feel your arms working hard here? Good. Exhale, bring your seat down. Circle the arms either under your legs or around your legs. Quiet pose. Let those muscles quiet. We're going to do that one again too. Strengthening more than once. All right, get back into position. Hands behind your seat. The fingers are pointing towards your seat. Inhale to lift. You're doing so well. Exhale, come back down into your quiet pose one more time. We're going to come up to standing. I encourage you to go any way you need to come up to standing. We'll meet at the top of the mat. Good. Before we get into our full sun salutation A, I'm going to remind you to use your Ujjayi breath. We've been practicing that. Okay, so you can come into Tadasana at the top of the mat. Toes are all pointing forward, about hip width distance apart. Line at the outside edge of your feet with the outside edge of your mat. Okay. Shoulders, a few of those up, back and down. Soften your knees, a little buckle in your knees. If it's okay for you, finish with the palms facing away. A different arm position works for you, take that. Back the ears up over the shoulders, crown the head, reaching up towards the ceiling. Find something on the horizon to focus on, or if it's okay for you, you can gently flutter your eyes closed here. And then start to bring your Ujjayi breath into your practice here. Close your eyes and gently flutter them open. Bring the hands in front of heart center, moving through one full sun salutation A. Inhale, arms sweep up, use your Ujjayi breath. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale to lift, halfway up. Exhale, refold. I need you to get your hands to the mat. If you need to bend your knees to do that, go ahead and bend your knees. Step back with one leg, step back with the other leg. Okay, remember our planks from before? So either on your toes or drop down to your knees, but let's hold this plank for a couple more breaths. On an exhale, slowly bend your elbows, sending those elbow points back behind you. Come down through Chaturanga. Inhale up to a back bend, maybe baby cobra. So slight lift here. Still have a bend in the elbows. They are pointing back behind me, not out to the sides. Good. Exhale, lower, curl the toes under, push up and back, make your way into downward facing dog. So sending those hips high. Again, we'll pause here. Look up toward your hands. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Inhale to lift halfway up. Exhale to refold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, coming all the way back up to top. And exhale, hands float back down and Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Good. So a full body movement. It's a moving meditation. It's a great warm up. That could be your practice, is doing several rounds of just sun salutation. Good. But we will move on. Okay, we'll take a step back with that right leg. Turn that right foot out so that you can land the whole bottom of your right foot down on the mat. So some kind of an angle, maybe about 30 degrees, okay? Hands onto your hip. See if you can bring your right hip forward a little bit more to even the pelvis here. Take a bend into that front knee. Warrior one, you can keep your hands on your hips, or inhale your arms up where the palms are facing each other. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Find something on the horizon to focus on. Good, stay there. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Good, catch your hips, straighten that front leg for a moment, turn your back foot out to be at a 90-degree angle away from the front. Bend into that left knee again. Okay, we're working into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. You can keep your hands on your hips or float those arms out from the shoulders. Wriggle those shoulder blades down your back. And if it's okay for your neck, look at the front, the left fingertips here. Pull the arms away, stretching the chest and the back. Well done. How are the legs doing? They're doing good. All right, catch the hips, straighten that left leg. Turn your left toes, 45-degree angle. Turn your right toes out, 45-degree angle, okay? Float those arms up from the shoulders, palms face up. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, coming into goddess pose. Drive those knees out. Good, great inner thigh strengthener, quad strengthener. How's the shoulders doing? Nice. Checking in with all the parts. Catch the hips, straighten your legs, either step or hop your feet together. Make your way to the back of your mat. We'll do that on the second side. Well done. Okay, gender step forward with the right foot this time. Both feet are landed down, so that back foot will be turned in about 30 degrees. Hands onto your hips. Bring your left hip forward a little bit more. So you level the pelvis, square the hips, I should say. Bend into that front knee. Warrior 1, hands are on your hips, or inhale those arms up. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears, palms are facing. Good. Good, catch the hips, straighten that front leg. Turn the back foot out, 90-degree angle away from the front. Come look at the feet, maybe wriggle around a little bit. Bend back into that right knee. Float those arms out from the shoulders. Looking out the right fingertips this time. Drawing shoulder blades down the back. Straighten that right leg, catch your hips, pivot your toes. One goes in a little bit, 45-degree angle, that right foot probably. Left one, you turn it out so it's at a 45-degree angle. Arms out from the shoulders, palms up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, goddess pose, second time. Good. And second. It's tired. All right. Catch the hips, straighten the legs, hop or walk your feet together. Tree pose, our balancing pose. If you want to step off your mat, it's a little less squishiness to throw your balance off, or go over to the wall, feel free to do that. With the hands on the hips, first we're going to shift the weight, foot to foot. Okay, waking up the feet, they're ready for this. Okay, all the way into your left foot, come up onto the ball of your right toes. Pivot that right knee out to the side. You can land the right heel on your left ankle and stay there. If this feels like a challenge for your balance, stay with this. Check that your pelvis is neutral. Again, we want it nice and level. You can bring your right foot up to the side of your calf. Be careful you don't push it on the side of your knee. It could be a little bit too much pressure in that direction of the knee. If you're feeling good here, I would find something to focus on before. If you want to change the arm position, as you take those limbs away from the body, the balance becomes more of a challenge. So you can keep those hands on the hips. They can be in front of your heart in prayer pose. They can be overhead with the palms together, or you can grow your branches, such as I am. If you're growing your branches, feel like you're rotating your armpits forward on the pinky side of your hands. Good. Float those hands back through heart center to the hips, pivot that leg forward, stretch it out, place it back down, and pedal those feet up. Well done. What happens on the second side has nothing to do with the first side. All the way into your right foot, because their balance can be different. Come up onto the ball of the left toes, pivot out, left heel lands on the right ankle, check in with the pelvis. You want to be level here. Decide if you want to bring that left foot up to the side of your calf. Would you like to change the arm expression? Would you like to make that expression different here on the second side? There's no one expression of a pose. It's your expression of a pose. Well done. Flip those hands back down, heart center to the hips, pivot that left leg forward, stretch it out. Place it down, hip width distance apart with those feet. Will balance out our standing postures with a forward fold. Tuck the chin towards the heart, exhale, come forward. Permission to stay in a half fold right there with a nice flat back, crown of the head reaching forward. Or you can come a little further and you would like to, you can even release your hands. And this hamstring stretch, you want to feel it in the middle of your hamstring. If you're feeling it higher towards your seat, back off. Okay, it's a little too much. You can't do too much. Too much of a good thing. Couple more breaths here, but while you're here, thinking about this, we're going to move over to that wall, do a few shapes over at the wall, as I said we would. So if you know where you're going, go ahead, make your way down, over, whatever you're doing. So when you're coming the legs up the wall, this is great. We're going to do a few stretches here before just legs up the wall, or a couple stretches. Bringing your, it's not a lot of fun to get into maybe. Bring your hips, but once we get there, it's worth it, trust me. Bring your hips to the side of your wall, or your baseboard, or whatever, and then swing your legs up. I'm hoping you can see and hear if I'm here, rather than me talking here. Okay, so we're going to do pigeon, or figure four stretch at the wall first. You cross your left ankle onto your right thigh. You do all of these shapes with legs up the wall. You'll have to determine how close you want your seat to the baseboard or not. Like you can back it away if it feels like too much. Take it closer if you're not feeling enough. Start to bend this right knee. Slide your right heel onto the wall. Go into that slow. When you find that's enough for me, stay right there. Because of course, the more we bend that right knee, bringing that left leg closer in, it's going to be a deeper stretch. So you're going to find what works for you. And hang out here in this pigeon at the wall. The wall is a great tool. You can do a whole practice using the wall. All right, straighten that right leg up the wall so we can release that left ankle. Bring the right ankle onto the left thigh. Same thing, slowly. Explore sliding that left heel closer to the cheek there. And the side might be different. You might need more or less of a stretch or intensity. Good, straighten that left leg back up. Release that right ankle. And then bound angle at the wall. Okay, you place both your foot soles on the wall. And then open those knees out to the sides, bottoms of your feet come to touch. And here's where I feel like, you know what, I go a little closer towards my wall. You can use your hands to gently push those knees out. Find more opening only if you need that. And you also determine how close your heels come down the wall, right? If it feels like too much, you can slide them up. Not enough, maybe bring them down a little bit more. Draw the knees together, slide the legs up the wall, and then a straddle. So widen your legs out,
This is when I feel like I can actually do the splits. Gravity lets me feel like, oh, I can do the splits. If it's too much, because this can be a lot, slide the legs up, further together. And all these shapes down the wall is helping our legs drain. Very relaxing for the heart. One more breath here. And then slide your legs back together. Maybe about hip width distance apart. And we're going to pause here for our final relaxation. Legs up the wall. If you only have a few minutes in your day to do yoga, do this one right here. Very nice and relaxing for the legs. The heart doesn't have to work as hard here. Everything relaxes. You can take your arms away from the body. Legs up the wall. You determine how close your seat is to the wall or farther away. If it's too much for your hamstrings, you probably need to take your seat away. You can even keep some bend in your knees and put your heels on the wall. So if it's too much for the hamstrings, you're not ready for that yet. You're going to stay with your legs up the wall. I'm going to come up to your seat, my seat, and talk you through a contract and release exercise to help you relax a little more while your legs are up the wall there. Feel free to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Bringing your awareness into your left leg at first. You maybe curl the toes on that left foot, but can you tighten from your foot all the way up to your seat on that left side? Tight, tight, tight. And relax, release. Good. Over to the right leg, same thing. Maybe curl your toes there if it doesn't cause a toe cramp. Squeeze all the way up to that right cheek, the whole right leg. And relax, release, good. Let's go over to the left arm, make a fist with that left hand and squeeze it all the way up to the shoulder. I know you're strong in your shoulder, let's contract the muscles there. Good, relax, release. Over to the right arm, same thing. Make a fist with that hand and squeeze it all the way up to your shoulder. And relax, release. Let's draw those shoulders up towards your ears. You're creating tension in your neck and shoulder area. And relax, release, good. Then squeeze up the muscles of your face. Make a prune face. And relax, release that, good. I'm gonna put that all together at one time. We'll go back to those legs, maybe curl the toes there, squeeze your seat, make fists with those hands, tighten the shoulders up towards your ears, scrunch up your face again. Anywhere else I haven't mentioned and you know that you can turn it on, squeeze it up right now. Good, work, work, work. And relax, release, let that go. Nice. We're going to go back to that left leg. Notice you're still holding there, you're still tensing. And soften. Over to the right leg, same thing. No need to work here, let it be relaxed. Your seat is soft. Allow the belly to go. Tensions and bindings in the belly, let them soften. Release them. Over to the left arm. Let's bring awareness into that left arm. Let it be heavy. You don't have to work. The earth is supporting you. Over to that right arm. It's so heavy, it feels like it's sinking under your floor. Shoulders are relaxed away from your ears. The muscles of your face are soft. Whole body is relaxed. Mind is relaxed. And heart is relaxed. I'm going to leave you in silence for about 2 minutes.
pausing to bend your knees, place your foot soles on your wall. And then using those feet, scooch away from your wall enough that you can roll onto your right side. You're pausing on your right side, cradling your head and your arm there. Using your hands, you can push your way off the floor, away from your wall, coming back to a seat, a comfortable seat. You have a favorite way of crossing your legs. I'm going to ask that you switch that cross so the other leg is in front. Of course, if you're stretching out a leg for any reason, don't worry about that. Sit up nice and tall and flutter your eyes closed if that's okay for you. We're going to come back to finding the breath, where we started. So noticing where you feel your breath, whether that's in your belly, chest, anywhere else. Bring your awareness back into your breath. And then moving on to the quality of your breath. Are they those long, slow, gentle inhales and exhales? Or are they more shallow? Hopefully, we're in a good place. And has it changed from the beginning of your practice? As you practice yoga more and more, you become more sensitive to a lot of things. And so maybe the sensation of your breath becomes easier for you to find. And after the practice, the quality of your breath is just a little bit even better. You bring your hands in prayer in front of the heart. And tuck the chin towards the heart for humble chin. And gently flutter your eyes open. Gaze back up if you like. And that will conclude our 6th week of our Beginner Week series. I hope you're feeling wonderful in your body, a little stronger, a little more open, and more confident in your yoga practice. Take care until then. Namaste.